first, okay?
Just introduce.
Indeed. We do have Mr. Gerald Musisi from Pace Advocates with us today. He is a seasoned man of the law, a constitutional law and human rights legal practitioner. Welcome to the show, George.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Roni. Good morning, listeners.
And, we just want to touch on the beginning of this, okay? It's This is something that's been disturbing us. Every morning we come here, what is in the news this morning? And, today amendment of bail proposed. People are up in arms. People are striking today. Now, you're going to definitely help us shed more light. And we just want to kickstart this conversation with, George, what exactly is bail?
Thank you. One, bail is a contract between an accused person. When we say an accused person, it's a person who has been charged with a criminal offense. Criminal offenses are those offenses which have to go through police. A person is arrested, things like murder, you've robbed someone, you've beaten someone, you've stolen someone's thing, or you've been accused of doing those things. Okay. So a person is produced in court, and bail is that contract where a person is saying that I can get temporary relief, I can be released temporarily, okay, until conclusion of the cases against me, and I'll be availing myself to court as and when court requires me. So you request court that I pray to be released momentarily for different reasons, because bail stems from the fact that our laws and our basic law, which is the Constitution, says that every person is presumed to be innocent until either you plead guilty by yourself or you are proven guilty. So that is the basic right of every person, that no matter how grave the accusations against someone are, they remain accusations. And we've seen it so many times in our communities, where actually a person might be suspected by even millions of people when he's innocent.
Yeah. Right.
And I think it even goes back to the biblical times when everyone was chanting, crucify him.
Yes.
Just imagine if the crowd, if Pontius Pilate had not listened to the crowd.
Right.
So that is the basis of bail, that every person is presumed to be innocent. The state has a duty to bring evidence against this person, and then court has the duty of either examining that evidence and either acquitting you or convicting you. So bail is for every person who appears in court, that you have a right to apply. Then court listens to your application, and then court will either release you on terms, because court sets conditions for the bail to be released temporarily. And if you abuse these conditions, court can always cancel the bail. It has that discretion to say that no, we asked that you report back to court every 1 month, you've not, so we've cancelled the bail, come back and go in until conclusion of your trial. Okay. So bail basically is that contract between the person, that is person, and the state, that I will appear every time I'm required until conclusion of my case.
Okay. If I've stolen a chicken, can I walk in and say I want bail?
Yes, under our constitution, and I will keep referring to the constitution because it's the grand law of the land, yes, all laws come from it. Every person is eligible to apply for bail. Every person, however grave the accusations against you might be,
so whatever offense you committed, you can apply for bail. Okay.
Because, like I mentioned earlier, bail stems from the presumption of innocence. Every person is presumed to be innocent. From my practice and experience, I've noted that people's love or hatred for bail usually depends on where they are standing.
Right.
You find if Roni is accused of stealing a chicken. Yes, the person from who lost the chicken will say, why should that person get out? Why should the thief get out? Well, the person was taken to court, and then the next day I found him walking away. Roni's relatives, meanwhile, will be saying, can you do something, and that person gets out? Yeah. Can we do something? Can we get bail? So usually people's emotions about bail usually depend on where they are standing.
Right.
If it's a relative who is being accused, you'd love them to be released on bail. Yeah. If it's you who is being accused, you'd love to be released on bail. If you are the complainant, you do not want that person out. Yeah. So, however, law should be above emotions. The law should be at that point where each person runs to it for recourse, and then we have that neutral arbiter, the courts, to look at every circumstance and come up with a decision. So, under our laws, every person, no matter the offense we're charged with, is eligible to apply for bail.
Okay.
It's a constitutional right.
It's a constitutional
So
right.
it is a constitutional right
It is a constitutional right to apply for bail.
to apply.
Yes.
But
not
but
to
it
get it.
Not to
not
get
to
it.
get it.
Yes.
So you can be denied bail.
You can be denied bail. Actually, many people keep on, and have even had, unfortunately, the president saying that these people shouting that it's my right to bail, it's my right to bail. It's not my right to get bail, it's my right to apply.
apply.
And like we mentioned, our constitution puts in place an arbiter, the courts. They have judicial officers whom the government pays, and the courts will look at your application. And there are even some guidelines that courts will look at. They'll look at the sureties you presented. And these sureties are saying, I know Roni very well. We are using Roni as our suspect. I know.
Chicken thief
Yes,
of that day.
I know Roni very well. And usually, what do we look at when we are looking at getting those sureties? Usually, get a person who has a degree of control over you.
Yes.
That if I refuse to come to court, I'll be able to drag him to court. Because, like we mentioned, bail, you're saying, I'll be able to come back to
I'll
court
come in when you need me to appear.
every time you need me. So the sureties will be those people who have a degree of control over you. That means that Roni cannot bring his son to stand surety for him.
Right.
However, Roni can bring his elder brother, his employer, his parent.
Co-host.
Wow.
That will be to court to determine the co-hosters. So the court will look at the sureties you've presented. They will look at Roni's antecedents. Has Roni ever run before? When Roni was summoned at police, when the case was set at police, did he come willingly or police had to run after him?
Drag him.
So they look at all those circumstances. They look at the offense you are charged with. What degree of control has Roni has over the investigations? Because
If
by the
you're
time,
out.
yes, if you are out, can Roni influence? For instance, if we are charging the Inspector General of Police with and they are determining his bail application, chances are that the people investigating have been his juniors, and he has yes. So they look at those circumstances. Won't you foil investigations into your case? They look at whether Roni has a place where they can locate him. Does he have a job? Does he have a home? Where does he stay? If your place where you stay is ambiguous, it's got to look at all those circumstances. So it's not even that every time you apply you get it.
Yes.
Court will have to give reasons. The law requires court to give reasons if it has rejected your application. That will reject your application for 1, 2, 3 reasons. Or if it grants, still to give the terms. It will give terms. That's when people talk about that cash bill, that pay this amount of money, deposit your passport if you're flight risk, come back to court and report every so often.
72 hours,
yes. So court always gives terms under which they are granted that bail, and if they reject, court will give reasons why they have rejected.
Okay, amazing. So I think we now know when you apply for bail,
it doesn't guarantee.
It's not an automatic right for you to get it. Yes.
Okay.